Right guys, so I've had this car for years now, and unfortunately I've never once had it on the road, and there are several reasons for this. Time, funding, and a lack of motivation. And the reason behind the lack of motivation is because the person who did work on my car, the spraying and welding, did an absolutely shocking job. Took pretty much years to complete the car. In between was giving it back to me, taking it back away, trying to do some of the work, and then pretty much gave up and gave the car back to me as a complete jigsaw puzzle. So I'm working around this at the moment, trying to get it all put back together, and a lot of the work's going to have to be done again, which is a shame because I paid for it, but I'm just going to do my best now. And this is one of the reasons why I started this channel, was to sort of help motivate me to get the car finished. So now we're going to take a look at what the car was like when I first purchased it and got it back to my house. As you can see, there was a little bit of damage on the front panel from where I believe someone reversed into the car in the car park, and again there's some rust on the front. Moving on to the rear arches, there's loads of rust on them as well, but this is just simply from where the factory body kit was fitted to the car. Water used to sit behind it and just rot these cars to an early grave. So then once I got the money to get the car sprayed, the guy came and collected the car, began to strip it, weld the new rear arches onto it and replace any panels that needed to be replaced. And then once that was done, he obviously primed the car and then began to spray it, spraying the doors and bonnet separate to the rest of the car, and then put it all back together. When I got the car back to mine, I saw that there was damage on the rear, apparently caused by a bush growing into the back of the car. These issues were rectified by him, but there were so many more that it didn't really make any difference to it at all. So this is my experience with using somebody that I didn't know, although he was recommended by everybody else on the forum at the time. Yeah, it's just a shame that he couldn't deliver on what they said he could deliver on. Right guys, so when it comes to the bodywork of this car, a lot of the work does need to be redone. It's partly down to poor workmanship, and the other part is down to damage that's accumulated here while it's been sitting on the driveway. Take for instance this first occurred when the guys who were doing scaffolding at the front of my house dropped something on it while they were dismantling it. This rust bubble at the front of the bonnet as well, which has obviously just happened naturally. Also got a chip here in the front. Again, not too sure how that's occurred, because we've got another chip here in the door and coming down the side of the car. You can't actually see it, but the filler work that was done at the side, the welding and the spray job is absolutely awful. It is because the paint's actually been pushed off the bodywork and it's sort of been pinched together by this rubber seal. In the summertime obviously this expands and it's just pushed the paintwork. And also when we come to this side, there's a rust bubble. All of these chips down the side. If you're familiar with XR2s, you know that they have a black outline around the windows, and because the first time it was done it was so poor, I asked him to redo it, and he's obviously chipped some of the paint off. This down here as well, this chip is obviously where the door hasn't been aligned properly and it's been banging on the sill of the car. So guys, at the minute the current brake setup are standard XR2 brakes, just with drilled discs. I do have front discs and calipers from a Ford Escort RS Turbo, which I will be fitting at a later date. It's currently on standard Mark II XR2 shocks with 50mm lowering springs from an Escort RS Turbo, and I understand that these are the same springs, but from factory the Escort ones are 25mm shorter. So with 50mm lowering springs you get a 75mm drop on this car. So sitting quite nice at the moment when it's on its wheels. I don't know what it drives like with those lowering springs on, but we'll have to see. At the minute on the rear I've got the standard drum brakes, and I also have these Gaz shock absorbers, and again 50mm Escort springs, so should lower the rear 75mm in total as well. Like I said, the car's actually sitting quite nice, so unless I get any trouble going over speed humps and stuff like that, or a really shocking ride, then I will change the suspension setup. But this car will not be my daily car. It's going to be more of a weekend thing or a summer thing, so I'm sure I can live with some of those for the looks. Right guys, so this is how the interior of the car currently stands. It's got no front seats in it, however I do have some Escort RS turbo seats that are Recaro spec, waiting to go in here once the carpet's glued down and once I've fitted the dashboard in, because obviously I need space to do that. But before I fit the dashboard in, I need to get the car running so that I can make sure that everything behind there works. Otherwise it won't be long before I'm ripping the dashboard back out. There's quite a lot of mess in here as well. It's not too bad. There are some dead spiders and stuff, bits of dirt, a little bit of mould, but I have cleaned it before with a steam cleaner, so I know that I can sort that out. It's a little bit rough in here, but I'm sure it's nothing that I can't sort out myself. So yeah, that's pretty much how this stands at the minute. It's quite bare, but I'm working on getting it all put back in together and in tip-top shape in the end, hopefully. Right guys, so at the minute you can see things are a little bit hectic in the engine bay. Battery's missing, rocker cover's missing because I'm currently prepping it to spray it. Radiator's missing, exhaust manifold, downpipe, inlet manifold, carburetor. There's untold amount of things going on here at the minute, but I'm slowly putting it back together. And the reason why everything is missing is because I'm currently cleaning and trying to recondition some of the parts that are going to go back on. Other than those ones, anything else that's missing I will be replacing. So at the minute, as you can see, it is quite a big project and a work in progress. Hoping to do all this work by myself as well. If there's anything I struggle with, then I will ask somebody for help, but right now this has been a project that I've been doing myself over the years. So in terms of engine and gearbox, it's quite clean at the minute. I'm just trying to clean it all up and give it a good inspection before I start putting things back onto it, because I don't want to build the whole engine up and then decide that it's not clean enough for me. So at the moment that's the way things are going. Also trying to find parts and just get it back together in a good condition. So that pretty much wraps up the video for today guys. If you do want to see any more updates on the Fiesta XR2, Golf GTI or on the BMW, then please subscribe to the channel. There'll be plenty more things to come, and to show your support, please like and comment on the videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.